If you're watching this, then you should have already completed the prerequisite video, my PLP video, talking about how we feel like it's too late, but we're never going to have more time than we do right now. If you haven't, make sure you go watch that first. It is required viewing for this podcast. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. My mic is not plugged in. I don't know where the wire is, and this is what frustrates me about being consistent is that something is always gonna be awry. But I'm not going to give myself an excuse to not be consistent. So we're gonna continue with the podcast. As far as this feeling of it being too late, I think a lot of us experience it in our mid to late 20s. It's this feeling that we are past the point in time where we can expect any real momentum. We feel like the trajectory has been set and we're kind of trapped in whatever like circumstance our life is in. Obviously, we know that we're going to be able to accomplish a little bit more, but have the we don't make space for there to be exponential and infinite possibilities. When I was in my early 20s, I feel like every time I spoke to someone that was 26, 27, 28, they always would say it with such a feeling of dread. There was definitely a little bit of melancholy in their voice. And I feel like it's because we have self inflicted this feeling of missed opportunity when we can just recognize it for what it is. And the fact is that people take different amounts of times to get things done. People have different journeys to travel. Like, it is not conducive, it's not productive to sit in the misery of your own inaction. The only way to alleviate that feeling of dread and regret is to use whatever life you have let to pursue what it is. I'm turning 25 in like 2 weeks, and honestly, I have a vision board for my life. It's over there. And in my life, I definitely thought 25, I would at least be partially, like half of my income would be coming from social media. But if I'm honest, I haven't been that consistent. And even when I was, there wasn't a huge reception. And I don't want that to be the reason why I miss out on my opportunity. Because the fact of the matter is, all the time you spend in the shadows is only for your benefit. It's for your self improvement. It gives you a chance to kind of hone your craft, work on it, develop it, show it to people you know, get feedback. This is like the beta stage. You are developing your product, whatever it is. Maybe you're an artist, you play piano, you sing, you make content. So in developing, you have privacy. I mean, it's publicly available, but if no one's watching it, it is a sense of privacy. And you have to understand that once people pick up on you, you're going to have to strike while while the moment, I forget what the phrase is, strike while the iron is hot, because once you have people's attention, it is immediately fleeting. It's just like a car off the lot. As soon as it's off the lot, it loses value. So your responsibility, if and when, sorry, forget the if, when that opportunity comes, is to be able to produce whatever you're producing on the same level that these people have become accustomed to. The thing about branding, the thing about consumerism is the reason why people gain the loyalty and respect of individuals is because not only are they producing something of value, something unique, something that solves a specific problem, but they're also doing it in a way that is surprisingly predictable. So you want to have something fresh to share with your audience, but you still want it to satisfy whatever it is that they are looking for you for. So I would say take advantage of the unknown stage. There's no reason to allow yourself to kind of dread anything. You have as long as you are willing to pursue it to get it done. And with something like, especially if it's a creative thing, an entrepreneur, you're not gonna have anyone there to motivate you. It has to be self inflicted. And I actually did a video on TikTok talking about the concept of rage. There's a poem, I think the poem is by Thomas Reed, and he talks about how it starts off, do not go gently into that sweet night. And then he talks about people in different scenarios and telling them to rage. And it's not really an angry, destructive thing. It is a conviction, a level of determination, something that really burns and bubbles in your chest. You need to be enraged by the idea of not completing what you are looking to do. It needs to be unacceptable, like God forbid, like it shouldn't be a concept that you can even wrap your mind about. So, and when you allow yourself to think about it that way, when you realize that there is no happiness outside of this accomplishment, for many of us that is the case, you pursue it like your life depends on it, because it does. And when you have passion like that, when it just oozes out of you, people pick up on that. People are attracted to like conviction. People are attracted to discipline. No one wants to hear you talk about starting something and then you let it go and then you talk about starting again. No one wants to hear you repeatedly starting the same chapter in your life. When you start, first of all, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Like, accountability, cool. Like, maybe one or two people, cool. But don't go announcing your big plans before you've actually had proof of concept to yourself and to the people who are eventually going to support you that it is not possible, but achievable. Do you know what I mean? And I'm crying at this wireless. Like, I just really like the feeling of yapping into a mic, you guys. I don't know what to tell you. So I'm about to go watch my little brother graduate from the University of Virginia, and he's gonna go get a PhD in chemistry from the University of Buffalo. I am so incredibly proud of this child. We had our upbringing had a lot of friction, but he was still my best friend for a lot of it until I went to college, and I would say we grew apart a little bit. But the reason I switched to the topic of my brother is because he is someone that you just get the idea that he's going to go slow and steady. He's going to keep chugging along until he finds what he's looking for. Like my brother never really gave me the impression that he would ever give up on himself. He's a really ambitious person, and I always knew that he was going to pick a direction and perpetuate himself towards it and achieve it. And I think that's what he's going to do. And I aspire to be like him in a lot of ways, because I come up with so many reasons and excuses not to do things, and it is crippling and so like it's a nothing burger. It's not even worth contemplating. But anyway, my room is crazy right now because I'm packing to go see him walk the stage and graduate. And with that said, this is the pod. You know, I want to follow up my speech videos with a more casual video, no script, and maybe even like no editing. If I can get away with it, I'm not gonna lie. I really wish I had nice crisp audio for you guys today, but trust and believe I will figure it out for you, okay? And maybe eventually I'll find a way to do this podcast live so I can get some like active live feedback. But until then, remember to continue prospering. I don't know, I need to figure out a sign off. I like this, the like sign on, the prerequisite. A sign off for this. Let me think. Until next time, just remember that peace, light, and prosperity awaits. I just love the way my brain works. Okay, bye.